What do billionaires do when money is no object? When fortunes are so vast that even the most extravagant purchase barely dents their wealth, what do they buy? They buy symbols, they buy power. They buy things that reshape legacies, alter nations, and sometimes even bend history itself. Tonight, we reveal the top 10 most expensive purchases by the world's richest. Not just price tags, but what those purchases really mean. These aren't just transactions. They're statements that echo through generations, reshape entire industries, and sometimes redefine what it means to wield influence in the modern world. From floating fortresses that rival military vessels to entire islands, transformed into personal utopias. We'll explore how the ultra-wealthy don't just spend money, they weaponize it. Number 10. Sergey Brin and Larry Page, a private jet fleet. Larry Page didn't just buy a plane. They bought freedom from the constraints that bind the rest of us to Earth. Their $131 million fleet includes a retrofitted Boeing 767-200 and multiple sleek Gulfstream jets. The Boeing 767, nicknamed the party plane, features a master bedroom, full-size shower, and seating for 50 passengers. But the real magic happens in the converted cargo areas. Airborne boardrooms equipped with science labs, meeting rooms, and innovation spaces that turn every flight into a command center at 30,000 feet. The Gulfstream jets serve as rapid response vehicles for their empire. When a crisis hits YouTube servers in Singapore, or when a breakthrough happens at their DeepMind offices in London, Brin and Page can be there within hours, not days. Their pilots are on 24-hour standby, fueled aircraft ready for takeoff with just 2 hours' notice. But here's where it gets fascinating. Their fleet even played a role in early Google Earth experiments. They don't just travel, they teleport their decision-making power anywhere on Earth. Their fleet has hosted everyone from world leaders to Nobel Prize winners, turning transit time into networking gold. For Google's founders, this wasn't luxury, it was infrastructure. A step toward owning not just the internet, but the very means of moving knowledge and influence around the globe. The purchase was less about comfort and more about declaring, we run the digital world. Now we run the physical skies too. Number 9. Carlos Slim, Museo Sumaya, $800 million. In the heart of Mexico City stands the glittering Museo Sumaya, its curved silver facade reflecting light like a metallic flower blooming from concrete. Built by telecom tycoon Carlos Slim at a staggering cost of $800 million, it houses over 66,000 artworks, including the world's largest private collection of Auguste Rodin sculptures, masterpieces by Picasso, Van Gogh, and Leonardo da Vinci. To casual observers, it appears to be philanthropy, a billionaire giving back through culture. But for Slim, this was psychological warfare against his own reputation. For decades, Carlos Slim dominated Mexico's telecom industry through what critics called monopolistic practices. His Telmex controlled over 80% of Mexico's landline market, while América Móvil dominated cellular service. His wealth sparked public resentment. Here was a man profiting from Mexico's digital divide, while millions couldn't afford basic phone service. The Museo Sumaya became his reputation rehabilitation machine. The museum's distinctive design, created by Slim's son-in-law, Fernando Romero, makes it impossible to ignore. Its 16,000 hexagonal mirror tiles create a structure that seems to shift and breathe with Mexico City's light. Inside, Slim curated more than art. He curated a new narrative about himself. The museum draws over 2 million visitors annually, turning his private treasures into public culture. Number 8. Jeff Bezos, Beverly Hills Estate, $165 million. In February 2020, Jeff Bezos, and then the richest human alive, purchased the Warner Estate in Beverly Hills for $165 million, shattering California real estate records in the process. This wasn't just any mansion. The estate sprawls across 9 acres of the most exclusive real estate in America, featuring a 13,600 square foot Georgian-style main house built in the 1930s for Warner Brothers founder Jack Warner. But Bezos wasn't buying luxury. He was buying strategic positioning in America's most important cultural crossroads. By acquiring this particular estate, Bezos planted himself at the epicenter of cultural power. The mansion became a staging ground where Amazon's expansion into entertainment could be planned and executed. Number 7. Bernard Arnault. Symphony Superyacht. $150 million. Bernard Arnault, chairman of LVMH and frequently the world's richest man, commands the seas aboard Symphony, a $150 million floating testament to luxury perfection. At 101 meters, 333 feet, long, Symphony stands as the largest yacht ever produced by the legendary feed ship shipyard. But calling it a yacht undersells its true purpose. Symphony is a floating embassy for the LVMH empire. The vessel spans 6 decks with space for 20 passengers in 8 lavish cabins, attended by a crew of 38 professionals. But Symphony's true luxury lies in its details. A 6-meter glass-bottom swimming pool with a cascading waterfall, an outdoor cinema on the bridge deck, and a private owner's deck featuring a sauna and jacuzzi terrace. The engineering is as impressive as the amenities. Symphony is powered by a 2,415 horsepower Wärtsilä engine, backed by powerful battery banks and multiple generator sets, allowing it to cruise at 21 knots while maintaining whisper-quiet luxury throughout its 3,463 gross tons of interior space. But Symphony serves a function far more valuable than recreation. Wherever it docks, Monaco during the Grand Prix, St. Bart's during the holidays, the Mediterranean during summer. Number 6, Roman Abramovich, the Eclipse, $600 million. Roman Abramovich didn't just build a yacht. He built a floating fortress capable of surviving warfare, paparazzi, and the dangerous politics of being a Russian oligarch. The Eclipse, valued at $600 million, stretches 162 meters, making it one of the largest private yachts ever constructed. But size alone doesn't capture Eclipse's true nature. This vessel represents militarized luxury taken to its absolute extreme. Eclipse features 2 helicopter landing pads, not for convenience but for rapid evacuation. The yacht carries 2 personal submarines, not toys, but genuine escape pods capable of underwater travel in emergency situations. The vessel employs a crew of 70 professionals, many with military backgrounds, operating around the clock like a small navy. But Eclipse's most fascinating features are its defensive systems. The yacht includes bulletproof glass throughout its main living areas, armor plating on critical sections, and a missile detection system that can identify incoming threats from miles away. Number 5. Larry Ellison, Lanai Island, $300 million. Oracle founder Larry Ellison didn't just buy real estate. He purchased sovereignty over human lives and the power to remake civilization according to his personal vision. In 2012, Ellison acquired 98% of Lanai, Hawaii's 6th largest island, for $300 million. The purchase included 87,000 of the island's 90,000 acres, along with 2 Four Seasons resorts, most of the island's housing, and virtually all commercial properties. Overnight, Ellison became almost everyone's boss, landlord, or both among Lanai's 3,200 residents. But this wasn't a real estate investment. It was an experiment in benevolent dictatorship. Ellison's vision for Lanai goes far beyond luxury tourism. He's transforming the island into what he calls a model for sustainable living, a testing ground for technologies and social systems that could reshape how humanity lives on Earth. Solar farms now power much of the island. Organic farms are replacing the old pineapple plantations that once defined Lanai's economy. Electric vehicle charging stations dot the landscape. But the human cost of this utopian experiment is staggering. Longtime residents have been pushed out as Ellison's developments drive up costs and transform the island's character. Number 4, Elon Musk, Twitter/X, $44 billion. In October 2022, Elon Musk shocked the world by acquiring Twitter for $44 billion, immediately rebranding it as X. At first glance, it seemed like financial madness, a social media platform hemorrhaging money, plagued by content moderation controversies, and facing existential threats from competitors. But Musk wasn't buying a business. He was purchasing the global conversation itself. Twitter had become humanity's central nervous system, the platform where presidents announce policy, where social movements spark to life, where public opinion crystallizes in real time. With 400 million users generating 500 million tweets daily, Twitter wasn't just a social network. It was the primary mechanism through which democratic discourse happens in the 21st century. By owning Twitter, Musk acquired unprecedented power over information flow. Tesla's success depends partly on public perception of electric vehicles and climate change, conversations that happen largely on Twitter. SpaceX's ambitious Mars colonization project requires public support for space exploration, discussions that trend on Twitter. Number 3. Bill Gates. Leonardo da Vinci's Codex Leicester. $30.8 million. In 1994, Bill Gates made a purchase that would seem modest compared to mega yachts and private islands, but may be the most profound acquisition on our entire list. Leonardo da Vinci's Codex Leicester for $30.8 million. This isn't just any historical document. The Codex Leicester contains 72 pages of Leonardo's handwritten observations about astronomy, geology, and water flow, scientific insights that were centuries ahead of their time. Written in Leonardo's characteristic mirror script, the manuscript includes his theories about why the moon shines, how mountains form, and how water moves through the earth. For Gates, this purchase wasn't about owning a museum piece. It was about acquiring genius itself, literally possessing the thought processes of history's greatest polymath. But here's where Gates revealed his own genius. He didn't hoard this treasure. Instead, he digitized every page and released the codex as a screensaver, CD-ROM, and eventually online exhibition, sharing Leonardo's brilliance with millions of people worldwide. Number 2. Mohammed bin Salman, Neom City. $500 billion. In the northwestern desert of Saudi Arabia, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman is attempting to build more than a city. He's constructing an entirely new form of human civilization. Neom, budgeted at $500 billion, represents the most ambitious urban development project in human history. The planned megacity will stretch across 26,500 square kilometers, larger than the state of Vermont, and house 9 million residents in a completely artificial environment. But Neom isn't just about scale. The city's centerpiece, called The Line, will be a 170-kilometer linear city enclosed in mirrored walls, 500 meters high and 200 meters wide. Residents will live in a climate-controlled environment where everything they need is within a 5-minute walk, while artificial intelligence manages every aspect of daily life. The project includes plans for flying cars, robot maids, artificial moons, and beaches with sand that glows in the dark. Neom will be powered entirely by renewable energy, with massive solar and wind installations making it carbon neutral. The city will even have its own legal system, separate from the rest of Saudi Arabia. Critics dismiss Neom as an impossible vanity project, but the deeper purpose becomes clear when viewed through the lens of Saudi Arabia's existential crisis. Number 1. The Rothschilds buying governments priceless. At the pinnacle of wealth as power stands a purchase so audacious that it redefined the relationship between money and sovereignty itself. The Rothschild banking dynasty didn't buy yachts, islands, or even cities. They bought nations. In the 19th century, the 5 Rothschild brothers, Nathan in London, James in Paris, Karl in Naples, Salomon in Vienna, and Amschel in Frankfurt, created the world's first multinational financial empire. But their true genius wasn't in banking. It was in understanding that governments, like businesses, run on debt. The Rothschilds became the primary lenders to European monarchies, financing everything from infrastructure projects to entire wars. The world's richest don't spend money the way we do. Every purchase reveals a fundamental truth. Extreme wealth isn't about consumption. It's about control. These billionaires don't buy luxury. They buy leverage. Sergey Brin and Larry Page buy freedom from the constraints of time and space. Pattern is clear. Every purchase is a declaration, a projection of power, a reminder that money isn't just about what you can buy, it's about what you can control. These aren't spending sprees. They're empire-building exercises disguised as luxury purchases. Each yacht, each island, each city becomes a tool for reshaping the world according to the buyer's vision. The lesson transcends mere fascination with wealth. These purchases reveal how power actually works in our interconnected world. While we debate politics and policy, The ultra-wealthy are quietly buying the infrastructure that determines how both function. They don't just buy things. They buy influence, narratives, and the future itself. They purchase the ability to rewrite history, reshape culture, and determine how billions of people live their lives. If you enjoyed this deep dive into billionaire power, hit like, drop a comment below, and tell us which purchase shocked you the most. And don't forget to subscribe to Crown Syndicate, where we reveal the wealth, influence, and hidden empires shaping our world. Because to understand who really runs the world is the first step to understanding how it actually works.